everybody, my name is Amora. I am known in the world of belly dance for different reasons. First of all, when I started belly dance, there were not many belly dancers. There were maybe 10, 20 maximum in all Spain. This is the place where I started, and this was year 1993. And then I went to Morocco, and as also there were just few belly dancers in Casablanca where I was performing. Then I went to London, and in London again there were few belly dancers, maybe 20, and instructors maybe 5, 6, 7, 10, I don't know, something like this, not too many. And then when I came back to Spain, it was already starting the fashion of belly dancing, and there were more students, more dance teachers and all this. So I stayed there for like 2 years, and then I went to Egypt. And I went to Egypt in year 2007, and before this, all the time where I was performing Morocco, Spain, London, also Paris I performed, I was known as one of the best belly dancers in Europe. In Paris, I also started, I started in Spain in 1996 to do the arch, the pharaonic arch, which is acrobatic dance of belly dancers in the pharaonic times. I started to do it in 1996, so I did it in Morocco also, and I did it in Paris and London and so on. And everybody will remember me for that, because they will say that this is the authentic belly dance. No, so what happened is that when I was in London, I was going to come to Spain from year 2000 till 2005. I was studying architecture. I forgot to say I'm a qualified interior architect, about that, So I was studying in architecture in London, and what happened is that, there were many, not too many teachers, but there were already teachers, and I was charging to my students 3 times more for the classes, because there were reduced groups at the beginning, and I would ask them, why do you come to me? I'm 3 times more expensive. And they would say, yeah, but you teach, and they're always just showing off. They just stand in front of you and start dancing, and you have to follow, and if you are lost, it's up to you, they don't correct. You're teaching us. And this is the reason why I was known in London in those times for, teaching in a proper way. Maybe for another teachers, that's not the proper way. Maybe for them, they prefer to have students many years learning slowly from the teachers. And of course, they don't know as much as another dancers, no? What I mean with this is that I grew up in an artistic family. And my mother was one of the pioneer belly dancers in Spain in the early 80s. And this is how I got influenced by the Arabian culture since I was a child. So, what I mean, I'm not the typical foreigner, European woman that, I want to learn belly dancing, and go to classes and learn few classes and say, okay, I'm a belly dancer, now I can go and teach or dance. No, I grew up in an atmosphere where I had to be the best to be able to perform. This is what my mother told me since I was a child. I wanted to be a belly dancer, see my mother, the way she danced, the way she's so natural and so sympathetic with everybody, like a child dancing around, not in a sexual or erotical way, no, like a child thing, So I wanted, since I was a child, to dance like her. But she said to me, if you want to be a belly dancer, first study the classical ballet career, and then I will teach you belly dance. Okay, so I was so happy, and I went to ballet, and actually was in ballet since I was 4 years old. But I didn't, get it seriously until I was 13. And 13 years old, I really went to the Professional Conservatory of Dance, and I started to study ballet every single day, 5 hours per day, while I was doing high school and so on. And it took me longer, my studies, but finally it was university, so it was worth it at the time. But it was super sacrifice for me to do my dream true, become a belly dancer. because I had to work very hard in ballet, which was a discipline which I like to see but not to do. So it was very, very hard for many years. And there were a lot of discipline, you know. And well, all this knowledge I learned so many years, so many teachers, I have to be grateful for that. But also I just did for one thing, to become a belly dancer, to be by my mother seeing like, okay, she's ready to start being a student of her. So in 1992 is when my mother started to teach groups. Before that she was just a private teacher and belly dancer only. She was not teaching groups. But in 1992 she started, end of 1992, beginning of 1993, she started to teach, as I said, groups. And I joined these groups. This was in Sevilla, and then soon she made a dance school in Sevilla, which was one of the first belly dance schools in Spain. Probably the first in Andalusia. This has to be confirmed by other pioneer dancers, but as far as I knew in that moment, we were the only school in all province of Sevilla and probably Andalusia, which is south of Spain, half south of Spain. Okay, so what happened is that I grew up as a belly dancer at home, seeing the videos of the Egyptians like Suher Zaki, Mona El Said, Fifi Abdu, Samia Jamal, Gamal, Tahiyya Carioca, and of course Naima Akef and many others, no? And so I started to love the Egyptian dance since I was a child. And of course I had my preference, my first loving thing, you know, were Suher Zaki, my mom, of course, and Naima Akef. For me, this was like my goals in my life. I wanted to be like them. And so I said, Mama, please let me learn with you. I'm ready. I've been doing ballet for so many years. And she's like, okay, I will let you learn from me, but only one thing. She said to me, I will not allow you to perform until you are the best. I was, Mama, that's very difficult. To be the best, better than you is difficult. She said, don't worry, I will tell you when you are ready. So I worked very hard. I had to assist her for many, like 2-3 years. After 3 years, I was already teaching my own private groups, you know. I mean, groups, no private and groups too. I was just, you know, after 3 years, I was my own classes, but before that, I was just assisting her. She said I learned very quickly because, of course, classical ballet techniques had helped me a lot, but of course, since I was a child, these belly dancers for so many years, you know, getting cultivated by, you know, nutrients, like seeing the culture. My mother would bring musicians from Morocco. She would contract them and bring them to Spain, and they would stay with us sometimes. So we were living like Muslims in our home. I'm not a Muslim, but I do respect all the religions. So, but you know, the Muslim community and the Christian community are more into my roots. But also I love Buddhism, and I respect any other religion. So I don't want to get involved in that section, but of course this is part of myself. I'm not, as I said, a foreigner that wants to learn belly dancing and starts dancing, you know, teaching after a few classes. No, I grow up in the atmosphere and the culture of the Arabs. Of course, when I was a child, I was also in Morocco for a while with my mother, and I saw her performing there in Tangier. And you know, even my mother thinks I don't remember these things. I do remember. Anyway, the thing is that since I was a child, I was assisting my mother. I was sewing her costumes, I was fixing them, etc., etc. I was assisting her in events, and she would take me when I was a teenager with her sometimes to, you know, collect the things she would drop through the performance. and so on. So I saw many things. I saw her, for example, one time burning her hair in a performance with a shamadan, you know, a candelabrum. And since then I got like traumatized with that, and I didn't want to touch the candelabrum until so many years after performing, like I think it was 2005 or 2006 was the first time I touched a candelabrum and I performed with it. So imagine, I was for many years performing without the most dangerous items for me, as my point of view, is the candelabrum and of course the sword. These are the most dangerous items for a belly dancer, because can injure herself and can injure others and can create a disaster, no? So for avoiding this, I kept belly dancing, mainly with the veil, the ices, of course, the capes, as I call them. What else? The symbols and the cane and the... I can't remember right now. Anyway, these easy items, you know. And then what I said, until my mother didn't see me ready, she didn't allow me to perform. So I started to perform when I was 17 years old on summer. And I started in Los Caños de Meca, which was a very touristic place in the 90s, early 90s. People from all Spain will come there, like, you know, it was like a kind of atmosphere like Marbella, but more chill out style. And people will come to tell us, oh, you are amazing, I came 1,200 kilometers to come and see you, my family told me that you are great, things like this, you know. So of course our ego went up and up and up. Anyway, this happens when you're a belly dancer and you're starting. And even so, I didn't feel like I was so great, but my movements were very beautiful because they were very slow and very big. And this is one of the things that I am missing nowadays in the world in belly dancing. The dancers nowadays, they do not perform like before, and it's such a pity, because, you know, this dance is so beautiful and it could be performed as it used to be performed in the 80s. And I just making a call to all the belly dancers in the world to please try to perform like before, because what is created nowadays looks like a competition. It's not really belly dancing. Belly dancing is energy, is moving energy. You know, my mother Alia Sham's words are online and people are sharing them for years, and I didn't know this until my mother found it a few months ago. She said, did you see this? Have you done this? Like, no, I didn't do, mama. You know, and she's like, wow, you know, she's now known like mito, I don't know the spelling in English, but she's known now like one of the references in belly dance in the world, and in all forms of dance also, you know, for her words that she made in an article she wrote in 2003 for a magazine about the hands, about the energy, about the movements, you know. And this is what I would like to see in the dancers nowadays, but I don't see this. And this is one of the reasons why I created the BBDC, Become a Belly Dancer course. It's a course I created to be taught in a very intensive way, as I was teaching for many years after my mother accepted me to learn from her, you know. And this course is focused in creating those type of dancers, the dancers of before, not the dancers of nowadays, the dancers of energy, the dancers of creation, you know. And I miss that. Please, if you are one of those students or those dancers who are looking for that, please do it. Try to find teachers like me that can teach you that. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen with belly dance. It's very sad to see it nowadays. And, you know, I would like to see this in the future. I would like my children to see that one day, inshallah.